years old. I loved, I trusted, and I was betrayed. His lies left me shattered, but I reclaimed. It was a sunny afternoon when I met Jack. I was sitting in my favourite cafe, enjoying a cup of coffee and reading a book. The cafe was buzzing with life, but somehow, when Jack walked in, he stood out. His warm smile and confident aura caught my attention immediately. To my surprise, he walked over and politely asked if he could sit at my table. At first I was hesitant, but his charm quickly melted my reservations. We struck up a conversation, and it felt like we had known each other for years. Jack was witty, kind, and attentive. By the time we said goodbye, I couldn't stop smiling. Little did I know, that moment would change my life forever. Jack and I started seeing each other regularly. He was the kind of man who made me feel special. He would remember the smallest details about me, my favourite flowers, the way I liked my coffee, even the books I loved to read. I felt like I had finally found the one. He seemed perfect, and every moment we spent together felt magical. Months passed, and our connection grew deeper. Jack would often talk about his dreams and how much he cared for me. I felt like the luckiest woman alive. But looking back, there were small signs, little things I chose to ignore. He was secretive about certain aspects of his life. Sometimes he would avoid my questions about his family, or he would suddenly have to leave when we were together. At the time, I brushed it off, thinking he was just private. Then came the day that changed everything. It was an ordinary afternoon. I was at work when I received a message on my phone. It was from a woman named Claire. Her words sent a shiver down my spine. I think we need to talk about Jack. I'm his wife. I stared at the screen, my heart racing. Wife. Jack had never mentioned being married. This had to be a mistake. I tried to convince myself that Claire was lying, or that she had the wrong person, but deep down I knew something was wrong. That evening I confronted Jack. My hands were trembling as I showed him the message. He froze, his face pale. He didn't deny it. Instead, he admitted everything. Jack was married. He had been married for years, and I had unknowingly been a part of his betrayal. My world shattered in an instant. Everything I thought I knew about Jack, about our relationship, turned out to be a lie. I felt like the ground beneath me had disappeared. For days I couldn't think straight. I kept replaying every moment we had shared, every word he had said, trying to understand how I had missed the signs. I felt stupid and humiliated. I had trusted him with my heart, and he had crushed it without a second thought. Jack tried to explain. He said his marriage was unhappy, that he felt trapped and unloved. He claimed he had fallen in love with me because I made him feel alive again. But his excuses only made things worse. If he was unhappy, why hadn't he been honest? Why had he dragged me into his mess? His betrayal wasn't just a mistake, it was a choice he made every single day. The pain was unbearable. I withdrew from everyone, my friends, my family, even myself. I stopped smiling, stopped laughing. I felt like a shadow of the person I used to be. Every time I thought about Jack, my chest tightened and tears streamed down my face. But one morning, as I sat alone in my room, something shifted. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I didn't recognize the person staring back. I was tired. Tired of crying. Tired of feeling small. Tired of letting Jack's lies define me. That's when I realized something important. This wasn't my fault. I didn't deserve this pain. Jack's betrayal said more about him I decided to take control of my life. I started small, going for walks in the park, feeling the warmth of the sun on my face. I reached out to old friends who welcomed me back with open arms. They reminded me of the strong, independent person I used to be. I even signed up for a painting class, something I had always dreamed of doing but never found the time for. Each step felt like a piece of myself returning. At first it wasn't easy. The memories of Jack lingered, and there were days when the pain felt fresh again. But with time, I began to heal. I realised that my happiness didn't depend on someone else. It was something I had to find within myself. Jack tried to reach out to me. He called, sent messages, even showed up at my door. He begged for another chance, saying he would leave his wife and start fresh with me. But I stood my ground. I told him I deserved better, honesty, respect, and love. For the first time in a long time, I felt strong. I wasn't that broken, fragile woman anymore. Looking back, I see that this experience, as painful as it was, taught me some of the most valuable lessons of my life. I learned that self-love is the foundation of any healthy relationship. I learned that it's okay to walk away from someone who doesn't treat you the way you deserve. And most importantly, I learned that I am enough, just as I am. To anyone listening to this story, I want you to know that you are stronger than you think. You have the power to rebuild your life, no matter how broken you feel. Betrayal can hurt, but it doesn't have to define you. You are worthy of love and happiness, and that starts with loving yourself. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. Let's spread a little hope and strength to those who need it. Remember, you are enough, and you always will